There is a region sailors call the Burning Sea, a place where the desert meets the ocean like two worlds colliding. Here, the coastline shimmers with lethal heat, dunes shift like waves, and the sand burns hot enough to melt metal on the worst days. Most believe nothing can survive there, but old records say otherwise. Centuries ago, passing caravans reported seeing strange shapes disappearing beneath the dunes. Entire groups of people slipping silently under the sand, leaving no footprints, no shadows, no sound. Explorers thought they were mirages, tricks of heat, illusions caused by exhaustion and sunstroke. Until someone found the first breathing shaft. A narrow hole in the sand, carved with precision, releasing cold air from below. Then, a second shaft. Then a third. Beneath the heat-dead surface, there was something impossible. An entire world of tunnels, chambers, carved pillars, and air channels leading deep underground. This was the hidden home of a people lost to time. The Sandborn, known in scattered legends as those who live where the sun cannot reach. Their tribe didn't just hide from the burning desert, they defeated it. They built entire cities beneath shifting dunes, using ancient engineering so advanced that modern architects still struggle to understand it. They created cold chambers, underground farms, reflective mineral lighting, and an air circulation system more efficient than many modern shelters. But the greatest mystery isn't how they lived, it's why they vanished. One day, their tunnels stood empty, their homes undisturbed, their tools laid neatly in rows. Not a single skeleton was found. Not one. The Sandborn didn't die. They didn't flee. They simply slipped beneath the world, never to be seen again. And some experts now believe their disappearance wasn't an accident. It was a choice. The Sandborn lived in a world where the surface was death. The Burning Sea wasn't a normal desert. Its dunes radiated heat due to rare magnetic minerals that absorbed sunlight and released it in unpredictable bursts. Temperatures could spike from warm to lethal in seconds. Above ground, you couldn't breathe. Below ground, you could live. Their elders discovered early that digging downward meant safety. The deeper they went, the cooler the earth became. Over generations, they carved vast networks, not random caves, but a deliberate ecosystem. Air shafts aligned with wind currents. Heat traps to redirect scorching airflow. Reflective minerals used as natural lamps. Underground lakes created from moisture collection. Their entire culture revolved around listening to sand. Children were trained to feel vibrations with bare hands. Hunters learned to walk without sound to avoid dune collapses. Builders mapped shifting patterns by watching how sunlight bent across different grains. And their greatest structure was called the Undersea. A subterranean city so vast that early explorers compared it to an inverted cathedral, carved entirely from sandstone, reinforced with minerals found only in deep desert strata. Food came from fungal farms and root gardens irrigated by underground dew collectors. Light came from polished gypsum panels reflecting torch glow. Air came from vertical shafts positioned with uncanny accuracy. How did they create such engineering? Legends say they had a gift, the ability to interpret the language of sand, reading its currents like ocean tides. This ability wasn't mystical, it was survival, and it worked until the dunes began to shift in patterns no one could read. The first warning came as a rumble beneath the undersea. Not an earthquake, not a cave-in, something else. Sand began to behave strangely. Dunes shifted in circular patterns, forming spirals instead of rolling waves. The air shafts whistled with tones the tribe had never heard. Underground lakes rose and fell without explanation. The Sandborn believed the Burning Sea was waking up. At night, dunes glowed faintly with static energy, and the ground trembled like a giant creature turning in its sleep. Underground walls vibrated, shedding sand like tears. Some claimed to hear whispering, sand grains grinding together like a voice from below. Others believed something ancient beneath the desert was moving. Modern geologists later discovered the region sits on top of a network of massive caverns and shifting silica formations capable of vibrating like instruments when heated unevenly. But to the Sandborn, it meant one thing: they were no longer safe underground. Sandstorms intensified, burying entire dunes in minutes. Vent shafts clogged unexpectedly. Heat waves penetrated deeper into the earth than ever before. Their maps of the desert became useless. Dunes no longer followed predictable wind paths. Something had disrupted the entire system. And then came the sink nights. Nights when the ground sagged, opening silent chasms that swallowed anything above them. No roar, no collapse sound, just disappearance. Tunnels vanished. Rooms folded inward. Families who slept near shallow chambers were gone by dawn. The tribe realized the burning sea was no longer simply dangerous. It was becoming hungry. Desperate to survive, the Sandborn elders gathered to interpret the dunes one last time. They discovered a horrifying pattern. The sand wasn't just moving, the entire desert was sinking. Heat had melted deep layers of silica into glass-like pockets. Weight shifts caused whole sections to collapse. The underground world the tribe relied on was becoming a labyrinth of unstable chambers. There was only one choice: go deeper. Legends say they dug past the undersea into a layer of cold, dark sand untouched by the sun for centuries. Here, they found something astonishing: enormous natural caverns lined with crystalline structures that amplified sound and light. They built a new city there called Netherhome, using bioluminescent fungi and reflective crystals. It was beautiful, serene, safe, but only for a time, because the deeper they dug, the more they uncovered signs that something else had been there before them. Massive claw marks on walls, fossilized tunnels, and strange hollow chambers shaped like sleeping chambers for creatures too large to imagine. And then came the low rumble, deeper and heavier than anything above. Some said it was the earth shifting. Others said it was a beast. But all agreed on one thing: they had dug too far. The Sandborn's final days were spent carving a massive chamber called the Burial Sea, a cavern meant to protect them until the desert calmed. They entered it one night, sealed the doors, and never came out. When explorers rediscovered the underground cities centuries later, they expected bones. They expected artifacts. They expected signs of a desperate final stand. But they found nothing. No bodies. No remains. Not even ash. The Burial Sea was empty. The walls smooth, unscarred, untouched. Every tool lay in place. Every living chamber preserved. It was as if the entire tribe had dissolved into the air. Some archaeologists claim a massive collapse buried the chamber and crushed everyone instantly. But that doesn't explain the undisturbed floors or absence of remains. Others believe the Sandborn discovered a deeper passage, fleeing into unknown depths. But the most chilling theory is geological. The cavern might have been swallowed by a rare silica liquefaction event, where heat and pressure temporarily transform sand into a fluid state. If the buried sea liquefied for even a minute, the entire tribe could have been absorbed into the earth. Locals tell a different story. They say the Sandborn didn't die. They say the desert kept falling, and the tribe kept going deeper and deeper, until the world above became nothing more than a distant memory. On certain nights, when the dunes are quiet and the wind doesn't blow, travelers swear they hear echoes beneath the sand. Not voices, but the faint rhythm of tools carving stone. Some say the Sandborn are still building, still digging, still hiding, and one day when the burning sea shifts again, their underground kingdom may rise to the surface once more. Tell me, do you think the Sandborn were swallowed by the desert, or did they escape into a world we still haven't found? Comment your theory, and subscribe for more ancient mysteries waiting beneath our feet.